It's Meal Prep Monday, and today I'm going to show you how to make some teriyaki meatballs. We're going to show you how to make 5 portions, which is perfect for a work week for one person. Each portion has about 700 calories in it, which is less calories than you would use if you were to go out to eat for lunch. Let's throw it down. Okay, so let's start by making the meatballs. So we're going to start with 1 pound of ground pork. We got exactly 1 pound here because we're trying to keep the calories and everything right on what we want it to be. So in this, we are going to throw in about a ½ cup of breadcrumbs, just plain breadcrumbs, about a clove of minced garlic, about a teaspoon of minced ginger, fresh ginger, about a ½ teaspoon of soy sauce. I know it's not much, but we're going to be adding a lot more sauce later. And then about 2 green onions chopped up. Now this is the dirty part. We're going to get in with our hands and really mix this all together. I almost forgot in my mixing, we need to add 1 egg to this as well. The egg acts as kind of a binder. We're going to get in there and break that yolk and get this nice and mixed up here. Okay, you'll notice I mixed that up until there's no more breadcrumbs or anything in there. So now we're going to take this 1 pound of pork and we need to try to divide it up into about 15 meatballs. And you want these meatballs to be about ping pong size. So you're just going to have to use your best estimation on pulling out even amounts of meat. Okay, once you have 15 meatballs divided up, we're going to go ahead and cook those over here. So we're going to start by cooking them directly on the griddle. We're going to get a nice little sear on all sides. You can smell they're already smelling like they need to be flipped. Once you've got a good sear on all sides, we're just going to pull them off and set them up here on the warming rack. Like I said, this was not enough to cook them all the way through, so they still need a few minutes to continue cooking. But we're going to take them off the direct heat and let them cook up here. So now, got them on the warming rack. I'm going to turn my heat up on my griddle just a little. And then we are going to drop it down and cover it up. And this will make it kind of like an oven, so it will continue to cook in there. So while those are continuing to cook, let's go make our sauce. Okay, so we're gonna make kind of like a glaze type sauce to put over top of the meatballs. So we're gonna start by making a slurry, and we're gonna do that with about a cup of water and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. We're gonna get that mixed together. You should always mix the cornstarch in water first because it does not dissolve well in other liquids. So by doing it in water first, you can get it nicely dissolved, and that's what we call a slurry. So now I'm going to add my other ingredients. So we have a ½ cup of soy sauce, we have a ½ cup of brown sugar, We have about 2 cloves worth of minced garlic and about 2 teaspoons of fresh grated ginger. So we're going to mix that up real good. Make sure it gets nice and incorporated with that cornstarch. So while that still continues to cook, I just wanted to point out that we had already made some jasmine rice, and we made it according to the package instructions. It's only 1 cup of uncooked rice made according to the instructions. Okay, so that's already ready to go. So in a few minutes, we're going to actually heat up this sauce. That's the nice thing about using a slurry with cornstarch, is when you heat it up, it reacts with the cornstarch, makes it really thick, gives it kind of a glassy, almost a glaze texture. But before we do that, we're gonna go ahead and cook some broccoli. So we're gonna cook about 1 pound of broccoli that's gonna be divided among these 5 days. This is obviously more than a pound. So we're just gonna cook it right here on the griddle top. Shake out about a pound worth of that. So we're gonna go ahead and season the broccoli with a light bit of salt and pepper, not much. And then I like my broccoli really cooked down, so I'm gonna actually steam it. And this is gonna cook it down and make it really soft. Look at that color on that broccoli. Steam gives it a nice color. I also like a little bit of char on the broccoli, so I like to let it sit there for a little bit. Get some char on it. We're just gonna let that go for a couple more minutes. While everything kind of finishes cooking, we're gonna really quickly start dishing up into our dishes. Remember, we got these glass dishes off of Amazon. These are perfect for meal prep because they're about the right size for a portion, and they're good to put in the microwave. You don't really want to put plastic in the microwave. So we're going to do about a 1/2 cup portion of rice for each serving. See, that broccoli looks beautiful. It's got that nice little bit of a char on it. It's nice and bright green. It's soft, just the way I like it. So we're gonna pull that off. And we can go ahead and divide this up and portion it up into our servings as well. Okay, so you can see we've got our broccoli divided up, that 1 pound divided up perfectly among my 5 portions. So now we're at about the time where we're gonna heat our sauce up, because we want that to heat a little bit before we add the meatballs. So I've got a pot over here on the griddle heating up. Remember, this sauce has cornstarch in it, and that cornstarch is gonna help thicken it and give us kind of a glaze. Okay, so you will know when the sauce is ready. You can see it's getting a little thicker, kind of coating the spoon, and you can see that it's turning kind of a glassy color there, turning real shiny. So that's how we know that our sauce is ready. Okay, so now let's look at our meatballs. Yeah, look at those. So these have been kind of baking on here for about 20 minutes over here. That's been on low heat the whole time. And they are cooked all the way through, nicely browned from that sear, holding together nice. So they're perfect. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to move these over into our sauce. Okay. And then we're going to give these a gentle stir just to get them coated in the sauce. We're going to be very gentle though, because we don't want them to break apart. Just want them to be nicely coated in that sauce. Oh yeah, that looks good. Okay, so we are ready to add these to our meal prep. So we're going to just dish these up. Since we did 15 meatballs, there should be enough for 3 meatballs per serving. Okay, so now that we have our meatballs added, we're going to garnish each one. We've got 2 more green onions chopped up here. We're just going to sprinkle a little bit on top of each set of meatballs. Okay, so as an extra little bit of garnish, we're going to just sprinkle some sesame seed right here on top. There it is. Teriyaki meatballs with broccoli and rice, portioned out for 1 person for a work week. But I can't wait until lunch. Mmm.